Morning, everyone. Morning, Mr. Pitfall. You should have all had a pitfall day yesterday, hey, Marcus? Morning, Annie. It'd be fun trying to pronounce your name, Mr. Gopak, your first name. It'd be interesting to try and pronounce that, eh? For me, anyway. Easy for you. I think I'm changing my name to Hungarian or a Greek name just to confuse you guys. And then we're equal trade-off. Another course on how to pronounce a name. Anyway, just before I pass, I just got on full screen there to say hi to guys. Good morning. Just wanted to clarify, this is a trading room. There's 2 or 3 companies involved. There's Stock Market College, there's Quick Trade, and there's MetaTrader 5. MetaTrader 5 is a UK company, and it's got platforms all over the world, branches all over the world, and it's a trading platform which so let's let these guys in. A Quick Trade amongst many brokers use, from whether it be America, Australia is quite popular there, the UK obviously, and over here, etc., etc. And then the Quick Trade is the broker, and College is the educational package. So I'm not with Stock Market College, I'm with Quick Trade. So if you do come to me with an issue on that, no problem, but I just have to pass you back to them because I don't work for them. It's SMC, I work for QT, just so you understand that. Right, now here is the clarification, answer questions you're not sure of. What's that blue line on there? Discuss trade ideas and other aspects of practical trading. So we get hopefully more professional trading techniques. However, it's not a training where I'm going to teach you what a Bollinger Band is or a stochastic. That is, you won't get that for free here, and it'd be unfair for those guys who paid whatever the money is charged there for the education. So when you come to the trade room, you've got to know what a pip size is, and a lot so I got me on it now. A lot size is, or a CFD is, or a basic indicators, things like that. Just a background, because you're going to get a bit flummoxed or a bit overwhelmed. What the hell are they talking about? Just the basics. If you go into books and books of theory, just the basics, so that when you come in here, we can then sort of grow on that. But I don't think you can get out of buying a package from Stock Market College so you can get free, because obviously that'd be unfair on the guys who did invest in that knowledge. So as I always do say, practically every time, if you want to be successful, you need to have not only knowledge, you have to have all 3. You need to have knowledge, you need to have equipment, and you need to have capital. If you take one out of them, you won't be able to trade. If you can't place a trade because you haven't got the equipment, when you don't know how to place a trade, well, no good to you. If you've got plenty of money and plenty of great, fantastic state-of-the-art equipment with no knowledge, well, you can't trade. If you've got plenty of knowledge, plenty of equipment, no money, you can't trade. So you need all 3. And then you just grow on that basis. Hope that's all clear, how we're going to work from there. I'm going to share it in a minute. I've been asked by the company to just start off this little introduction. We go towards 1/2 for the guys entering, because the newer guys, the older guys know this, but newer guys come in all the time, just so they know, because you get guys coming in who some have heard there's a Forex market there. Was that a share market? I'm not sure. And then they're going to be absolutely bewildered. And quite frankly, it's not fair on the guys who've been trading for a while to hold everybody up. Well, I explained to them what a Bollinger Band is completely free of charge. The difference is a lot size of a mini and a micro and a standard lot. We can go into great details on that, and the guys are coming in to increase their trading capacity. So just sort of itemize that. The other thing is we're all on the same side, and we all had to start somewhere. So if you don't interact, you're not going to learn. You need to keep a piece of paper handy, a pen or whatever to jot down things in case you forget the question. You can unmute and chat verbally. If you feel a bit nervous on that, well, then you can place it on the chat line there. But we're not computers. You won't just sort of sit there and download your brain. If you're not sure, if you don't communicate and don't say so, you won't have the questions answered. then obviously you're going to be still stymied. Some of the guys will ask, and then say, "Oh, it's a good question there," and I direct to everyone just to clarify some basics. I've been doing it for a long time, so sometimes I might go a little bit rapid, like a guy changing gears and driving for a while. And just sorry about that. Some forget the guy just got in the car for the first time. But we do have experienced traders as well as intermediate beginners, and we need to sort of be fair on everybody. So if we go a little bit fast on trades, etc., just take a few notes and hang back while we go through the more experienced guys who might have taken the trades and want to interact on that basis. But the more you interact, quicker you'll learn, and you'll be surprised the speed you'll learn. This is not rocket science, I promise you, but it's like anything, even anything that's got some sort of money earning skill has a bit of hard yards at learning at the beginning. It's not something for nothing where you just get a signal, put it in your cell phone, go down to the beach, press and the money pours in. I'm sorry, there's a bit more to it than that. I wish it was like that, then we'd have no unemployment, eh? But unfortunately, there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay, right. Well, that's a nice thing to say, Mr. Chris. That's a bloody wonderful thing to say. Thank you very much indeed. Because you're male, I can't say I love you too. I might put you off your breakfast, but fully appreciated. Cheers. Yeah, well, you did. You never have a pitful day then, Mr. Marcus, because we all had a pitful day. I want to discuss that now. I'm going to just change over the charts. Just remember another thing, through pure unadulterated laziness myself, I'm only fully unilingual because I only got one language in my head, the one I'm speaking at the moment. I do have a very bad habit sometimes, to be honest, of speaking a little bit quickly. Just say, hang on, Roger, run that by me again or whatever. You don't have to be rude about it. Say, can you stop gabbing there, you ugly old bugger? I mean, that's not really necessary. But yeah, just say, hang on, because I sometimes forget other people, it's not their first language. Just have to remind you. Okay. Right, so a few more guys in there. Okay, yeah. I have one trade idea at the moment. The company probably won't be sending one out today because it's the jobs report, the non-farm payrolls coming out later on this afternoon. But anyone want to look at if you want, the one on the screen there. But I think there's a possibility of maybe a bit of downside. If you see the momentum's up at the moment, we looked at it yesterday. Did we go into it? Yeah, we went into it yesterday at 36, 3 pips above it. I get that, but I still, sorry, I'm still positive on the negativity. What I mean, I'm positive on the sell side, but it's popped up a bit. So don't panic. You got your stop. You're going to see reds and blues, the noise all the time in your trades. Having said that, I still believe there's going to be some downside here, but the momentum still seems to be a little bit on the upside. Still seems to be a bit on the upside, so maybe just hang 5. If you're not in, you might get a better price. If you are in, obviously don't. I still think that's going to hold. We might get some downside. If you liked it, do today. But very strong suggestion to the NAS or the Dow or any US dollar or gold. US dollar currencies or gold, because the non-farm payrolls, anything can happen, and you don't want to get a sudden move at 2:30 release where it could be Christmas Day where you're up, or horrible hangover day when it goes around and stops you out in 5 seconds flat, sort of thing. Okay, right. So don't forget, we do have a 2 o'clock show at a session for the dart release 2:30. Don't get confused here. It's not like one guy WhatsApp me says, give him the road, just send me the trade idea later on afterwards. Let them work that way. If you haven't done it before, clearly the person hasn't, you've got to be there at 2 to understand the mechanics, to have the trade placed around about 2:25 for the dart release at 2:30. If you arrive after 25, in fact, if you arrive after 20, Dan will have time to teach you how to place, teach you what the trade, the mechanics of the trade, and give you time to place it and work it out, sort of thing. So you need to be on time. If you've done it before, you can go out a couple of minutes late if you want. But if you haven't done it before, be on time so you fully understand the mechanics and you're ready to place the trade before 2:30. Not too early, because we don't want either side to be filled. I'll mention all that later on. But if you arrive at 2:30, you've missed it. Tough. You have to apply. You have to go to the next session. Will be next week for the CPR. But you'll get the idea when you join later on. Okay, so we'll come back to that one. We might be a possibility of getting a slightly better price. Okay, it's nice to go through trades. Puts me all in a very good mood if we had some good trades. I hope Farney's not there. Is he there? Oh, I hope he's not. Oh dear, oh dear, dear. And
Morning, Roger. Are you well?
I hope you wouldn't be here. Okay, close your ears now, mate. I'm going to have to be very, very hurtful and sensitive now. The GBP NZD hit TP. I'm sorry, you're going to have to find out why he got stopped out, because I wasn't, a couple other guys weren't. I don't know why he was stopped out. But it went on and hit the TP. And that is really, really, I just hope you're going to join 10 minutes later. And Gerard as well. He's not here, though. Thank goodness. Some of the sound incentive.
I have to take it, my friend. Thank you. It's big disappointment, but it happened.
Okay. Well, you're taking it like a soldier. Okay, I like a trooper always. Good man. Okay, what we got coming in here? Prophetess Akona. Hey, I like that. I'm going to tease her when she comes in. Been in contact quite a lot with her lately. Prophetess. Hello, Prophetess. How are you doing? Good you joined us. I like your name there. So I'm not going to call you Akona anymore. It's going to be called Prophetess. Now, when you get a few trades going well, you can probably tell immediately the trade has gone well from my body language. I get full of banter and stuff like that. When I get full of despondent misery, it's when they haven't gone too well, because whether it's my fault or the market's fault, you still feel responsible and bad, you know, if the market doesn't do as it's bloody well told by a certain Roger trading support here, hidden away in Joburg. The world market should do as I bloody well tell them. I think I've got a bit dictator mentality when it comes to the market, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, right. So the GBP, I'm sorry to say, for those who stopped out, hit the TP. The Dow hit the TP, and the other one we had out, URAUD, hit TP. Right. Now, a lot of them won't hit the TP. We know that. But what worries me is people, number one, don't modify the stock to protect. Remember, I say this every single time, do not turn a winner into a loser. A loser will remain a loser. You don't want to add to the losers by making a winner a loser. So sometimes you're going to be stopped out with a small profit, and then it moves on to TP. Rather that than being a bit of a profit, comes back, stops you out in a loss. So be careful of that. The other aspect, Miss Prophetess, I want to speak to you and to all people there. Once you got into a trade, let's say this is the trade going up here. And let's say your stop loss is down here and you entered here. Once you got your stop loss there, so you can't lose in the trade, it's above your entry. Why take profit? So at a gentle tease on that, Akona, yesterday, you're on at one and it hit the TP. You did well, but you could have done twice as well. This is, again, I want to discuss this. It's a completely total psychological thing, and I ain't going to get clever with you on it because I did exactly myself for when I started trading. I'm trying to put these bad experiences and try and quickly as possible get over them. The thing is happens psychologically is when you're in a loss, you don't want to take your loss. So you hold on. It's going against you. You got in here as a buy, it's going against you. Your stop loss is here. You see it's near the stop loss, you move it down, increasing your loss. Then you think, I must be right, I'll add to it. So you're adding to losing trades. Now you're in a hole. You can't trade because you've got to wait for this to come right. What goes up, what goes down must go up, what goes up must come down. Not necessarily. You might be, if you've gone short here, you might have been margin called when it got here, if you get my point. You wouldn't have enough money to sustain that massive move up. So that's not necessarily true. But once you're protected, then as it goes nice in your direction, you might hit the TP. So why get out of it? If you want, you can start modifying your stop into more profit. But if you've modified your stop there, the thing's up here now, why take it? Just modify your stop a bit more until it hits the TP. Because we're so worried. I know this, because I've been there. Trust me, everything I'm talking about, I've done that myself, so I'm trying to iron it out for you guys to save you. And what happens is when you're in a profit, because of the ups and downs, you're so scared someone's going to take it away from you, you grab it. At least it's back now. So you're banking 200 Rand here, 300 Rand, 400 there, and then when you go into a loss, you're into your loss, and you're losing 1,000 Rand. That is the major reason why beginners are overexposed, don't get the back volumes right, and take the profit too quick, and then hold on to the losses too long. The famous Warren Buffett said the best way to invest is make sure you cut your losses and run with your profits. And most people do exactly the opposite around because the emotional fear is in control of their mind. So try not to. You did well yesterday, people who did out of it, but prepared to bet most people would have done a hell of a lot better if they'd modified and ran with it, because those three hit the TP. The problem with that now, we're going to another negative here. The problem with that now is you expect the next three. So you want to jump in and double up. You think you get the next three. What a pleasure. And then you go, and then it must be, and then you hold on or you're going too big. No, be disciplined. You might have 3 TP today, you might not the next day. So if you're going to risk 10 units on a trade, don't double up to 20. Or if you're lost on the last trade, don't go and risk 5 instead. This is emotional control and discipline that you need. Very important. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. I mean, the Nasdaq, that's fine. With the Nasdaq trade is still in. I'm still in it. It's still a work in progress. But you made 200 pips there, so what a pleasure. Now, if you'd stuck with the Dow, where's the Dow? In fact, if you'd modified the TP, never mind the SL and the Dow, you'd done even better because we got down to 34,000 as the TP. Unfortunately, hit my TP. I forgot to maneuver it because I think I was on a call. That's my excuse and stick to anyway. But there's no harm in modifying your TP as well as your. I mean, if it goes down below the 14,000, 34,000, sorry, as long as you modified your stop protect, why not modify your TP and run with a bit more? Having said that, we got in the Dow on the 3rd. It's now the 7th. So we got it today is Thursday, got out on the 6th, hit the TP on the 6th. So in 3 days, and 396 of the signal got out at 4,000. So clearly, it's about 390 pips plus minus you made. Now, 390 pips is like, if you'd lost and stopped out in 4 or 5 previous Forex trades, that would all been covered by that one Dow trade. That's what I'm trying to get your head around this thinking. We don't want to say, oh, the Dow's going all right, I'm going to take my 30 pips. No, it's, you know, give the damn trade a chance. You're always going to get the noise. Let's go to the 1 minute chart to press upon you. Look at that, ups and downs. This is a 1 minute, each counts 1 minute. Down, down, oh, 2 minutes later, oh, no, it's a bull market. Oh, no, 3 minutes later, it's a bear market. In and out. All you're doing is paying the broker. You're not paying yourself. You get the idea. So give the trade a chance. So just going on in future, there's no guarantees the next 3 can hit TP, but you want to be on board when they hit it by modifying and playing around. And remember, you can always cut your position. You don't have to go with it. If you get a bit nervous, you're in with 10, you want to cut 5, you can do it. I've explained it before. I suggest you all know how to do it. If you don't, here's your chance to say, Roger, how do you do it? It doesn't take long. It won't hold the traders up with nerve for very long. It just means it's important you need to know that. Okay. Are we all good with that? So those trades went nicely. That's fine. And because the Dow and all the rest of it, we might have had a good start to the week. I think we had 2 stop loss, I think. But the other ones, if you stuck with the program, would have more than made up for it. I don't mind taking a 10 Rand loss if I made a 40 Rand profit and I'm net up 30 Rand. You get the idea. It's about pips. So, all right, you lost 100 pips, but at the end of the week, you made 200. Well, you're up 100. What a pleasure. You get the idea. Must think in that way. Okay. Get your head around it. The quick, I know it takes time. It took me a long time. I didn't have anyone to help me either. I might add, feeling sorry for myself. I'm such a victim. Yeah, but the quicker you can understand that concept and control the discipline of your mind, the better, because your mind reacts through evolutionary 200,000-300,000 years old. It doesn't work well with modern day technology, so you're going to try and control it somehow. Now, right, I talked about running with the trade. I'm going to show you, I'm still in the loss, but I'm going to show you a couple of my trades here. Now, this one, if you remember, nearly got stopped out yesterday. And I showed you, because everyone shows on Instagram all these other things, all their winning trades. Why they teach you, aren't they? They're yachting, but luxury buddy $1 trillion yacht in the Bahamas, or whatever the situation is. So I like to show you the reds as well as the blues, trying to get cross trust and standards here. Right, now I was about 2-5 down or something like that, I can't remember. And instead of panicking, I had my strategy in. Right, hang on. Sorry, excuse me. I'm just doing the trading room at the moment. So wherever he is. Okay, just picked off. I don't know. Where am I? Yeah. But I had my strategy and stuck with it. And people getting a bit worried going against. It got to about, I think about 5-6 pips away from the stop loss. So be it. That's why I've got my strategy. I've got other trades. I've got enough capital to diversify. I've worked out volumes, etc. So it goes against. I know it's part of trading. It's not going to break my account. And it turns out that doesn't look pretty, but it's a lot better than it looked yesterday, and it still might come right. You get the idea. Okay. And then you can look at a couple of the other ones. Most of the others hit TP, so I'm out as an half a dozen, a bit more than that yesterday. I'd suggest when you're beginning, no more than 3 trades if you've got money for it. If you haven't, well, you can't anyway. Try not to get about 7 or 8. Because you can't keep an eye on them all unless you can. If you can, that's great. But if you can't, rather not. Otherwise, it confuses you. Practice and all that. So I'm still 1,600, 1,700. I'm still a few $100 up in net, but this one still I'm letting it run. Okay. Don't forget, as I mentioned, you can cut your position. If I want to cut that position, I've got 2 minis or 20 micros. Just double click. Let's say I want to halve it. I'll put in 0.1. And then I close. What I've done is I've closed 10 micros. 10 micros will run. And that loss, if I did that, would change to 500. And I've, 500 come off the balance. Simple as that. Or your profit, if you're up 1,000 and you halve it, 500 will be banked. That will change to 500. And your position size, obviously, here will volumes will be changed by 50%, clearly. Okay, so you all know how to do that. And try to look at it. See, get it out the bloody way. It plays with your mind. Got it? Okay, right. Doing well. And you missed the trade. What do you do now? Chase it. No, you missed it. Got to accept that. You can some come right by chasing it, but you got to make sure your risk rewards. I work the risk reward there, not at here. You get the idea. So you got to get the calculator up and make sure your risk rewards in place. Not blindly emotionally FOMO, fear of missing out, and chasing it when the ship has sailed. Okay. So that's a bit of nice news. Most guys WhatsApp did okay. I'm glad about that. The Nomvuzo, the volume. Oh yeah, the volume. Okay, do it again. Good. Mostly people don't do it in the losing trade. They usually do it in the winning trade. So I'll do it in the winning trade. NZDCHF, we'll use that. Highlight it. I've got 15 micros there, as you can see. You go to the volume section, go to that section line. Just don't want to go to the stop loss TP because that's where you modify. If you double click on there, you're going to modify that. This is for closing or reducing your position size. Double click. Simple as that. Put in the volume. Now, if you've got 1 micro, clearly you're snooping because you only got 1 micro. You can't reduce it, but that's the bottom. But if you've got more than that, you want to. So I'm doing very well indeed. I'm up a lot, a bit of resistance, but it might break through the floor, some floor, the ceiling, or the floor if you're going short. In other words, I might go a bit further up. So I maybe cut, I don't know, I'll cut 10 on this one. I'm going to cut 10 micros because quite a strong resistance there. And I'll, wrong one, sorry. I'm going to cut 10 micros of that. Click on the close button, which I'm not going to do right now, but I would do if I wanted to do that, right? And then that 10 would be banked. This would obviously change to a lower figure. That changed 0.05. I'd modify the stop up to protect in case it does come back, but at least I'm on board with some of my trade position volume or whatever. If it breaks through, there's resistance to go further on. If it doesn't, well, I've banked at 10 micros to resistance and maybe 20, 25 bits lower the other 5. What a pleasure. Get the. Are we all good? This is not rocket science stuff, just needs to be explained, you know. I'm not trying to solve the sort of astrophysical problems of the astronomical universe, you know. Rent for a leaf, finally, but I'll have a look at it. Now, it will be affected by the non-farms. It could jump up, it could jump down. It's right at resistance now. If anything, if there's no non-farms today, we've got to trade out at 78 times. I think most people already taken their profit. It's been up and down, stopped out on the modified profitable stop loss. To chase it now, where are you going to put your stop? You can put it down there if you like, or you can put it down there. Then you've got about a 5 pip stop. Then you're going to look about 8 or 9 upwards there. Then you're going to be looking at that as your TP. In fact, probably look around about that as your TP. Is that going to go like to get there? I don't think so. Plus the non-farms are coming out. So Brent for LIA, in my opinion, strong opinion finally, by the way. You do that on your own back, mate. Not with my backing.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay, mate. Leave gold alone as well. Some guys, listen and not take the advice, I think went long on gold, overexposed, and got smacked. If you want to put trades in the Kona, you can do, but the only trade I'm looking at to do today, so far before the non-farms, will be the NZD CAD. We'll look at it again in a minute. The company doesn't usually send out, they usually write signals, but I can't ask anything in the trading room. But even if I've posted it out now, they're a bit right to send out non-farms today. I am not so I fully agree on that, because you can send out maybe a Japanese yen one or an NZD one or an AUD one, even a Canadian one sometimes, so it's a bit sympathetic to the dollar. But I personally would not advocate going to USD currency, an index like Dow or whatever, and I wouldn't be keen on going to gold or Brent because they will be affected by the non-farms. But the others you can look at if you see an opportunity. But that's their thing. But we can certainly look at it. Yeah, we agree on that, Joe. That's fine. Always remember, the word stopped out or hit the stop loss, to most people, that's a negative. Sometimes clearly it is. But if you're trading like we do here, it's positive. A heck of a lot of time I've been stopped out, but a hell of a lot of time, a nice profit. So don't panic on the word stopped out. But stopped out. Oh, you stopped out. Oh, okay, fair enough. Don't worry, I'm only teasing. I'm the king of typos, so I know exactly what you mean. So agree with the LIA. Roger, try to get into S&P. You can't. You can't get S&P. If I don't think anybody's still in it, but anyone's still in it, you can only close it. We've had too many data problems with that from the DX feed that we have through MT5. I'll do a quick trade. This is our feed, data feed. So we left it. Why would you go for the S&P when you got the Nasdaq Micro? It's far more flexible, far more popular, and quite frankly, the contract side, the S&P, although it's cheaper, is 10. So it's actually cheaper to go on the Micro than the Nas with a higher figure. So forget the S&P. Okay. If you really love it, you specialize in it, you're doing all your life, well, I'm sorry, you'll have to find another broker. But otherwise, I personally think, why go the FTSE, the Hang Seng, the German 30? They're all contract at 10. When it all follows, not 100%, but 90% of the time follows the NAS and the Dow anyway, and you got a one contract instead of 10, so you can trade the Dow and the NAS, and I can't see the point of really going for it. If the Dow, if it was we didn't have the Micro, the NAS and the Dow, I would say you could look at the German and the rest of it. But why go for higher contract size when you've got the flexibility of the NAS and then follow the NAS and the Dow anyway? So you might as well get to the real thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's up to you. But that being so made, I'll show you what I mean by that. So there's no going future. Go down S&P. Where is it now? Where the hell is it? Disappeared. Okay, I'll go back on again. Yes. Where is it? Where the hell's my hand here? P. Right, there we are. You go there, left click, right click, specifications, tells you the contract size is 10. Remember, on the Micro, on the NAS, it's 1. On the normal, it's 10. So clearly, a 0.01 obviously is 10 times more on the normal than the Micro. That's too much. Get a maths course. Right, close only. So obviously, if you're in the trade, always be able to get out of it, clearly. We can't enter. So forget about the S&P. Okay. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, Sam. Forget the S&P. If you love it that much, I can't help you. You have to go somewhere else. keep most of his stuff here and put a couple of bucks to another one that has the S&P. But why, I do not know. It makes no sense. Even if it was available, why would you want to do it when you got the NAS? You know what I mean? And you've got a decent account. Go for the NAS. Pull it down. So anyway, whatever. But if I know you got a reason one, but the guys who got small accounts, it makes even less point. Hope that's all clear. Right, so you don't have to wait for signals. The question there, do I wait for signals? I don't wait, do any signal you want. But a lot of people say, I was promised by the sales guy, get 5 signals a day. I promise you, I can send you 10 if you want. I'll send you 20 if it turns you on. But the point is that you've got to find something that works. All right, you want a signal. Okay, good idea then. Let's sell silver. There you are. Good idea, eh? Get my point. Right, we'll have a look once, see if you want to do it or you want to wait. It's not a US dollar, so maybe you can look at it if you like it. If you're in this one, well, don't touch it, obviously. But if you're not in it, I still think there's possibly a downside. It still seems to be volatile. Some sellers are coming in now. You can see on the 15-minute, so some sellers are already coming in. It might go further up, like it did just yesterday to this 50, but it held there. Where's the stop loss? Put it up here. When was the last time that this level here? It was back in this time here, which was the 24th of May, which was about a month and a half ago. So yeah, I still see a bit of momentum. You want to wait till you get to here and comes off, and confirmation might be an idea. But that's only, well, it's only about a couple of pips away. You know, quite a wide spread up there, eh? Not sure I'm happy with that at all. But anyway, I don't said it. Mum, don't complain to me about spreads. Got nothing to do with me, lads and lasses. It's to do with the company. They said it, and they're happy with it. Not much I can do. Okay, I don't agree with interest rate in the bank. I think they should pay me more on savings. And I emailed a strong email to the chairman. He's ignored me. You get my point. Slightly facetious, but you get my point. But anyway, bearing that in mind, I see there's a possibility of downside there. Canadian is a little sympathetic. I agree with the US dollar, but it's still not the US dollar for the non-farms. And it has a little bit of, I think, a little bit of strength coming in here. The Canadian I'm talking about with the increase in oil price, we'll see what happens. Plus, I'm back in the Canadian of the NZD fundamentally. And it's in below the 50, the 200 and 100-day moving average. And overall, 50 days, it is a slight downtrend, or I know slightly upwards on the 200. But I still think there's a possibility of maybe a bit of downside here. If you feel a bit nervous, don't do it. If you think the non-farm's coming up, it might affect it, don't do it. If you think the momentum's upwards, then clearly don't do it. But I think there's a possibility of some downside here. We should have done all right. If you shorted, Ivan, if you shorted, you should have, if you shorted, right, if you shorted after the movement down on the ADP release, you joined the ship too late. Try and get rid of this no-brainer attitude, guys. It's not, you're not going to get a no-brainer. It's not going to happen. You get lucky, sure, but you're not going to get a no-brainer. After data released, it's discounted the market. It's old school because everybody knows it. You got to work on what might happen. Once everyone knows it happened, I had to 100% gold price going to go up from 1910 to 1930. I 100% guarantee know that, okay? The problem is now is you want to buy, obviously, but you can't because I know that everybody else knows that. So no one's going to sell it to you. You've got to have a counterparty who thinks you are wrong to make the market work. You must understand that concept. Don't start with the no-brainer. It doesn't happen. So, yeah. Fortunately, if you want to make money, it takes a bit of discipline. Even if you marry a millionaire or a millionairess, they've got the money you have, but you jump when they say jump, you say how high. You get the idea. So there's always some effort to be put into it. So don't like to stare at us all the time. Put out the way. Right, where was I? Okay, yeah. So if anybody does want to do this one, I can put it up. If you think it's going to go up or you don't like it, well, fair enough. But if you do, I'll put an RR up for you guys. You should have I done okay on that one. If you did joined it before the ADP release or the weekly jobless or whatever it happened to be, both of them came out there. Okay. If you didn't, you entered by chasing it. Just remember that going forward. Okay, good stuff. All right. So, where was I? Anybody keen, or do you want to give this a miss, or do you want to short this one? Who's not already in it? If you're in it, of course, ignore it. You're in it. If not in it, anyone want to do this? Ivan likes it. I'm talking short, yeah. Nomvuzo, yeah, you like it. Akono, you look for a trade. Do you like it? Get your volumes right. I'll show you just now. If it works out, don't jump out of it. You know, give it a chance. Modify your stop loss. I'm not going to send you. I'm going to put it up here for everybody. Okay. I like your name, Prophetess, by the way. What's the gold price going to be in 2 hours' time, Prophetess? I'd really like to know. So the guy in the trading room. Then we can all retire together in the Bahamas and be big multimillionaire buddies, eh? Right. Okay. We'll do it then. I want it out the way, so I'm going to put it there. It's a bit of a wide one, but tough. I want it out the way. Can we squeeze it there, or could it be a bit lower, maybe? 80, 70. I think might make it a bit lower. See if that works. Don't think it will. Yeah, it does. That's all right. So there, I can take it there. It's 145, call it 150 around figures of micro. Remember what I said, guys? No, I'm looking at short. If you think it's going to go up, we'll look at that as well. But I'm looking at short here. Now, yeah, remember it's 150 odd rand a micro. So on the 10% maximum rule, you can't go in if you've got 1,500 rand or less. It's too high a risk. Okay, if you got 10 grand or more, I suggest you don't risk more than about 500 or 600. You start reducing your risk about to what's 600, 10,000, yeah, make it down to about 5% maybe. If you got about 5, 10 grand, reduce your risk maybe to about 5%. So you shouldn't really risk more than about 5, maximum 600 on a 10 grand account. 300 or so on a 5 grand account. You can start reducing your risk profile once you go over 25 upwards. If that's just suggesting, it's up to you. But yeah, so there you are. But there you do the maths on that basis. Who would like to do it? If you want to go long on it, after the guys have entered the short, I'll write this down for you guys. The new one, not the guys already did. And if you want to do a long, we'll look at the long as well. And those who want to do the long will obviously do the long. And those who want to leave it alone, leave it alone. I think it's going to come off. But I might be wrong. But Dodo thinks it's going to go up. I'm happy for it. He might be right. Doesn't mean to say because I think it's going to go down. It will do. But it will shoot up. The only trouble is it does go up, and I think it goes down. I go and sulk for a week, and that's not fun. No, I'm just joking. So, who's going to do this one? Who's not already in? I know you're not in proper this, but if you're not in, who's going to do it? Please do not sulk here. Okay, so a few people are going to do. We've all got a trade out here at 82.36 people on board. I think is that right? Yeah, but you're getting a better price. So if you're going to do it, that's all better for you if it comes right. Okay, so a few people. I won't write it down again, and it won't be sent out. It's just the trade will hope it comes right. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but that's a negative, that W pattern, not a positive. Yeah. But W pattern or whatever pattern you like, I think going forward, until we see some changing in the Aussie and New Zealand economic areas. I'm not sure that's that strong at the moment. Might change in a month or two. I don't know. And it's in the sell zone. And the 50, although the 200 slightly up, the 50 trend is slightly down. So I think maybe we'll try and even try a fib for and see if that works. Not be long. What happened there? Okay. Right. Yes. There. See, also the 50 fib. So you've got a 50 fib right up this support area there, the 50-day moving average. Previous history of support there as well. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles up. Like to be some profit taking. Guys, put yourself in the other guy's place. You bought it down here somewhere. Strong fib, strong ceiling there. Are you going to hold on? You're going to start taking some profit. You get the idea. So it might be a bit of a pullback here. That's what I'm thinking. In fact, guys, I'm that confident. Strongly suggest you borrow some money off your wife. Getting decent size on there you are. Tell her to sell some of her jewelry. And if you're a woman, tell him to sell some of his rugby tickets to the World Cup final. Okay, so we'll move on then. See how that pans out. Righty. Yeah, most of the other stuff leave alone. Most of the trades were out now. Well, Pleasure hit the TP, as you know. A lot of other trades are out because you modify the stop loss and kicked out in the profit, and somebody just stopped out. I'm sorry to say, earlier in the week where it's a stop loss. Unmodified stop loss, unfortunately, happens. Okay, so if you're in anything, run with them, modify as per normal, give the trade a chance. How long we've been there, nobody knows. Don't try and, because you get all nervous, see a bit of blue jump out of it. You know, you might be until Monday, Tuesday next week. Who knows? I've been in trades for a lot longer than that. It might be slow, but if it's going well, I get out. The only time I get out is going sodding nowhere, and it's just going nowhere. Rather get the capital working better in other areas. Then maybe okay. I'll put it back up again for you. At market, we're going in at market, it's not a pending order. What was it again? It was up here somewhere. Forgotten that. We didn't write it down. Up here somewhere. Just above that guy there. Maybe round that'll do. And round about, I remember this TP is 0.870, 0.87 if I remember rightly. Yeah, that should do the job. 140 odd rand a micro. If you want to risk 600 rand, what's that? That's about 0.04. That's 4 micros. If you want to risk 300, it's 2 micros. You get the idea. I'm telling you how to do basic arithmetic. You want to trade successfully the derivatives market. You can't do 600 divided by 150. Then we got problems. Okay, there you are. If you want it, you got it. Can I move on?
Okay, wait.
Yeah, wait with pleasure. No, absolutely. If I don't hear anything, I won't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Roger.
Don't you rush it. No, don't rush it. Make sure you take your time, check it, and then we're away. I've got it here anyway. Just a second. Hang on, I'll just save this in case. So we
Sorry, Roger. So the trades that we put now, we will have one take profit side, right?
Have one, what, sorry?
The
What's-
TP side will be only one-sided, right?
The TP will be one-sided. Maybe I'm not hearing you.
Remember when you send us signals, there's two TPs, take profits, and one setting stop loss.
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. You go in the trade, well, I'll work it out for you. Put 4 microns. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I'll do it for you. Your volume should be 0.04. That's your stop loss, that's your TP, and then you sell at market.
Okay, just hold on. It's NZD CAD, right? Yes. And then, okay, our volume is 0.04 and selling point is 0.083.
0.08, you worry me. You can't trade the markets, you don't have a place to trade.
No,
Right now.
it's 0.83, right?
No,
Times-
that's a stop loss, yeah. Ignore the 8, it's 0.8355 for 6.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a stop, and that's a TP, yeah, obviously, that's why it's there. And then you press the sell button. This is not,
Yes.
it's not, by the way, guys, it's not platform trading. I don't mind now, it's not going to take too long, but it's not platform trading. You can't place an order like in your trades. You've already done a few, you should know how to place a trade. You've done pretty well so far, in fact. Yeah, so that's the trade. Sell at market, stop loss TP, and I've given you a volume, so now you know. Got it? Are you in? Got it.
Yes.
Good. Pop that off now. Okay, right, where was I? Okay, Dirk, good stuff. I'll take it from you. A lot of people don't like it. Good question, Vincent. Some people are not keen. I'll make a slight exception because I think there's a possibility there. I remember that's not the US dollar, it's not gold, and it's not the Nasdaq or the Dow. They will be primarily affected. Others will be affected to a certain extent. If the dollar strengthens, sometimes the Canadian can strengthen as well, which you want. And this is important to understand this. For goodness sake, get the understand here. The ADP was much higher than the expected. So it's likely the jobs report be on the plus side, which will be good for the dollar. But don't get cute. I've seen the ADP big difference in the plus and the non-farms come out the opposite way around. So don't get cute on it. But there's a likelihood it will get a stronger dollar, which the Canadian might follow, which will help the trade. But just don't try and preempt. Please, I beg of you guys, get rid of the no-brainer, something for nothing, because that's what traps most people in the world. Not just on trade, just about everything. Everyone's looking for something for nothing. I want to give nothing, I will get a lot. That's one of the major problems, having these burning fires around the world through immigrants and all that sort of problem. Because the poor guys are coming from economic strapped countries, but they sink because they've been sold by these coyotes that they're getting all sorts of luxury money when they go to America or Europe or whatever. They're not thinking, what have I got to offer America or Europe? Do they need any more highly paid unskilled labor when they've got machines and plenty of it in the first place? You've got to think what you get after what you get. You get it off a little and expect a lot. That's when I'm afraid to say, uneducated and simpler get caught. No, and that's where half the problems occurring in this immigration problem around the world. It's not based on race, it's based on the fact that people want coming in, not coming to give. I find you're still there. By the way, I've been booted out my place, by the way. I need someone to stay for about 3 months. If you've got an extra room in your place, I'll pay you 50 grand a month. Pretty sure Farney says, don't like that ugly son of a bitch, well, let him in. Oh, sorry, Farney, I made a mistake there. I've been kicked out of the place. I'm broke, I've got nothing at all. Can I come and stay with you for 6 months? He's going to say, so no, haven't got any space. Sorry, mate. You get the general idea. Okay. Yeah, but bloody cold here as well. Even the ADP didn't warm you. Shame. Right. Any questions? Oh yes. Well, I'd like to think of a question. I just want to copy and paste. So not everyone's got it, so I'll do anyway. Remember the dollar index? I'll copy and paste it for you. It doesn't take long. The economic calendar, I think probably it won't take long, just in case you haven't. And if you haven't got the yields on the 10-year note, I'll copy and paste that as well. Useful stuff to have. It's free, doesn't take long to do it. Somebody keep an eye on, keep it minimized to your laptop. Oh, I haven't got a laptop, we've got a phone. We'll get yourself a laptop. If you want to make money in this market and you can make money, no laptop, no nada, well, the little bit you got probably disappear. You know what I mean? It should be common sense. Okay, I'll put in, just in case you haven't got it, my number. Roger. Trading support. WhatsApp. 1-529-3431. Clearly, if you're out the country, it's +7. Sorry, +2761, etc. Okay.
Roger, a question, please, after you finish.
Oh, go for it.
Thank you, sir. The question that I have is that why do the yen all of a sudden strengthen if the household spending went down much more than what they expected, and now that should actually weaken the yen?
Yeah, I take your point, but it's just considered worldwide. That's the number quite a lot. Generally speaking, that the most out there think the yen, simple as that, is undervalued, and there's more worry about Japanese government intervention to strengthen the yen than any, not a major, but a reasonable funding. It wasn't a top funding, but it was a reasonable funding. The overriding fear is the yen is undervalued, oversold, and they're worried about Japanese intervention. So some guys are starting to buy the yen, and most guys are keeping a little bit wary of it. Simple as that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Conan, I put NZD CAD as the other trade I missed. I'm sorry, you have to be more clear. I don't know what you're talking about. What other trade? The only one we've done this morning is here. We haven't sent out any trades. Probably won't, certainly won't today. But the only one we've done the trade with this one here. We haven't got it. We haven't got. I don't fully understand what you mean by it. Unless you want to unmute again. I'm not sure what talking about some other trade. Anyway, okay. The ones you said anyone to go through. That was this one here. Not this one. Sorry, the one there. NZD CAD. If you're in it, forget about it. Don't worry about it. You're in a trade. Don't worry about it. You're already in a trade. You haven't missed anything, is what I'm saying. Okay. Right, trailing stop. All right, I'll be honest with you. I'm in front of my computer all the time, so I don't really use them. Okay. Sometimes people, I think finally I should mention it, some guys put a trading stop in before they go to bed at night, just in case, you know what I mean? Because they're not going to be up to modify manually. It's quite simple. You want to put a trading stop in. Let's want to put a trading stop on this one here. You see that? Can you see on the screen there, the symbol there, right on the left-hand side? I'm using the NAS. We'll highlight the NAS. See that little red symbol there? Why is it red, not blue? Because it's a short. If it were going long, it would be up blue, right? All you do is just double-click on it. The clock up there. Why does that happen? Oh, sorry, you're right-clicking it. Beg your pardon, wrong way around. See how many times I use it, eh? Beg your pardon. Right-click on it, and you go to trailing stop, okay? And then you go to custom. All good? Bang, custom, there we go. The problem you got to understand here, it's not saying pips, is it? It's saying points. We all know 10 points, 1 pip. So if you put in 25 there, it means you're 2.5 pips. That's not even the bloody spread. So you get stopped out. So remember, whatever the pip differential is, you've got to multiply by 10. So it's 100 pips, like the last one, plus minus 100 pips stop loss, you put 1,000 in. If you want a 50 pip stop, you put 500 in. You get the idea. Then you'll just adjust self accordingly. I prefer just to modify myself. I'd even go to bed at night, leave it anyway. But if you want to use a trading stop, you can. Hope that answers your question there. You are AUD, we can. We should have been knocked that off. You got that? Okay, thanks, Margaret. You should have been, unless you modified your take profit, you should have been out at URAUD. You should have hit the TP. But if you're still in it, that's up to you. Unless you're looking for another trade. I'm going to be jumping in again now. That's a beaut. Enjoy it. Break open the champagne. Did a nice one there. If it comes back again, probably buy it again and take it up. But I wouldn't be touching it now, no. NZDCHF, I think I'm already in this thing. No, I hit the TP, sorry. Or am I? I can't remember. Quite a few trades lately. Now I'm still in the NZCHF. I should quit. Let's get this out of the way. That's what I'm doing as well. NZDCHF. One way of checking if you don't want to do that. You just right click, go to trade levels. There, see trade levels, and it shows you them. I've already modified my stop to just a couple of pips below break even. So get stopped out. I won't lose anything. So I'm protected on this trade. I'm just going to let it run. Okay. What you're asking for is if you're in, let it run. Modify your stop profit. I won't be chasing it now. No. If you're not in, leave it. That ship's sailed. All good? I don't doubt you need another trade, but I haven't got one. I need another wife, ladies, but they won't want the other wife. My first wife doesn't agree. But I said, why not? She said, because I won't allow her to have another husband. No, I'm only being facetious, you know what I mean? But no, I haven't got one. You're going to get some days, Kona, and people, much everywhere out there, you might get 4 or 5, too many to handle. Other days, well, very quiet. Feast or famine, that's life. Eh? Good trades, brilliant trades. It's just draw out of a hat. You know what I mean? It did. I wouldn't be sitting here chatting to you guys. I'd be sitting on my $200 million yacht, surrounded by beautiful ladies feeding me grapes. With a glass of very expensive, I don't know, brandy. I don't really drink brandy much, but some very expensive glass of wine in my hands. I think gold. Are we happy with that, guys? Who's asking what pair we'll look at? I think it's not a pair. I know it's a commodity. But a couple, including Chris, mentioned, and last time we did, people seem like gold. If you guys say, because they'll follow what we do, because they're not tend to trade, that's you guys. So let's make the mind up now. What do you want me to do? Do we want to do gold, dollar, yen, or euro dollar?
Euro dollar.
Euro dollar. Gold. We'll have to, all right, sorry, democracy. Most votes can do it. Got 2 golds, 1 euro dollar. Come on, I need some voters here. It's in Australia, if you don't vote, it's illegal. You got to vote. Yeah, quite right, Chris. I'm sorry, my friend, euro dollar looks like I voted. If you know how to do it, use the euro dollar. Some guys who've got quick enough fingers go into 2. I might do gold and Japanese yen or gold and euro, whatever, if you want. So I'm going to do the gold because majority seem to be in favor of the gold. So sorry, that's how democracy works. If you want to go to a totalitarian state, then you go to North America, because the USA is totalitarian now. So the mainstream media don't like, you're cancelled. So it's not even free speech country anymore. Yeah. Goals if you want, but Anna Marie and otherwise, you've done it before, like Dirk and Fadia. If you want to do the NAS, you want to do the whatever you want to do it, yeah. But I'm just going to show the guys there and everyone gold. And if the dollar yen does better, well, so be it. I don't know. You've got enough money, you can do two if you want. Just remember, you got two. There's lots of swinging back and forth to delete the non-filled positions and start putting in stops on the couple, and especially if it moves very quickly. But if you get the hang of it and you got fast fingers on the keyboard there, well and good. Don't forget, guys, no guarantees. Don't go boots and sodding all of it, just in case. Most of them have worked, but occasionally one doesn't. So just bear that in mind. Okay, no problem. I'm so tempted to read that WhatsApp out, but I really am, but I'm not going to. Quite amused at it. See the story of the poor old men's life. That's why, by the way, guys, I formed something called the MLO, the Men's Liberation Organization. There's not many members, but I'm trying to expand it because we are such victims in today's female world, us sensitive males. So I'm chairman of the board of the Male Liberation Organization. Home rule for men. We're such victims. Hey, Moreno, just kidding. What about some men's rights for a change? Hey, shame. Yeah. I'm sure Anna Marie's got the violin and playing it out now, and her eyes are filled with tears and sympathy. I'm sure she is. Nope. I like it. Yeah, you got to have room for a bit of banter, especially had a few good trades out. Friday's coming, the weekend's coming. We'll have a bit of fun, a bit of banter. Why not? I'll do it for him, okay? Just in case. I've just muted everybody, but it doesn't matter. I can always unmute if you want. Yeah. All right, we haven't had shares for a while. I'm still nervous to get a direction, but I still think like the NAS, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for selling some of them. So we'll keep them down the line. But going into next week, we'll have another look. Okay. Okay, any questions? Don't forget, save your charts. Right click, templates, click on templates, and then save the template. Put your name in there. Okay, and then press save. So if you lose your charts, all you do, for what I know, sometimes I don't know why actually. Ask a tech fund to do that. Many of someone's hands, click on templates, and then click on the one you want, and it's up and running again. Long-term thing. Now, that's a good question. I shouldn't discuss that. Well, I've got a few minutes. If you buy shares as in equity, you have to pay cash for them. Then you buy, let's say, it's $100 a share, and you can afford, let's say, $1,000 worth of shares. You buy 10 shares, and you let them run for a while, maybe get a dividend or two. Okay. If you're doing derivatives, you won't get the dividend, and you've got no voting rights at all. You're just in there, borrow the money. That's why you put a deposit down to get a bigger volume, because you can't, like buying a house, you can't afford to pay cash, you put a deposit down, same principle. But you've got to give them, it becomes a situation there, gives an opportunity to get in on them. It's almost like you're borrowing the share for a while. So bottom line is you don't get voting rights, so you won't get the dividends. But they will go ex-dividend the price, but don't complicate matters by worrying about that right now. So now you say, right, I've got 10,000 Rand spare, make it dollars. I've got $1,000 spare, and I want to get not 10, but I want to get what's 20 times? What's 10 times that? I want to get a larger parcel, okay? Because you're only putting 5% deposit down to get into the share. You can get a bigger volume. It's not a problem as long as you've got enough free margin to cope with the ups and down movements of the share. You will pay swap fees, but if it's a decent one, it's running for a few months, in your favor. The swap fees are negative. I'm not negative, sorry, negligible. Negligible. You know what I mean? You're getting a 30–40% or more rise in value. You're not going to be worried about paying about 6% interest on it. That's why people borrow money in business. The trouble is, most people, the man or the woman, the person in the street, leverages liabilities by buying stuff that depreciate value, like motor cars and durable goods like washing machines and dishwashers and fancy clothes on tick. They're leveraging in a liability. Okay, but if you've got a business and you can see the expansion is likely, and the expansion is going to give you maybe 60% rise per annum, why go with cash? Borrow the money, because you're only paying it back at maybe 6–7%. What a pleasure. Right, so the swaps could add up if it's going nowhere. And if you buy this Apple now, and in a year's time it's still the same, then you're not be very happy. You'd have a year's full of swap, and then it would count against you. But yeah, I think the long-term Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, whatever, Meta, I see a pretty good future. A few new guys will come up as well. I don't know, there might be some competition where people prefer Bing to Google, or I don't know. But yeah, I'm fairly positive. Tesla, I do like long-term. However, I still think we're looking for a bit of a pullback. And if the jobs report goes up and it changes the expectation inflationary, that means interest rates would likely start increasing again. Dollar will strengthen, but that'll have a negative effect on the markets. So I would think if you're looking to buy, rather for longer term, rather try and even risk missing it, get a better price. I'm looking actually down the line, maybe some sells on it. You get my point. Like I'm selling the NAS, but do I think in a couple of years' time the NAS will be back up again? Yeah, I do. Depends on the recession and what goes forward in the next election. But in the shorter time, I expect a bit of a pullback. There you go. But yeah, just bear that in mind. Swap fees are a nuisance. It's going nowhere. The whole thing's not that. It's tying your capital up. It's going nowhere. Even without the swap fees, it's you want your money to work for you. It's going nowhere. What's the point? Not necessarily, to be honest. Can't pronounce it. I'll call you Mr. TK. Not necessarily. Some of those, like Tesla, can be extremely volatile. Nasdaq is even. Forget that. If you want serious volatility, Nasdaq's absolutely yes. But look, I mean, Walmart could be a bit quiet. Most defensive stocks like supermarkets and that. Defensive means everyone's going to eat food, lose your job, otherwise you die. So that's called defensive stock. But tech stocks can jump around a bit. But yeah, I agree on that. The NAS will be faster, yeah. But just bear that in mind. You can have the individual share. It can move pretty damn quick. Some of your expense are you finding, like Microsoft. Hope that's all good. Roger, why can't we have a Sunday unit months? Because I don't want to work on a Sunday. Number one, it gets the next part of the question. Where we can analyze trade together as a class, we're allowed to create groups to do that. You can certainly create it. It's slightly facetious. I don't want to work on Sunday, I'm kidding. But yeah, a couple of reasons for that. Certainly, if you want to form a group, I think Anna Marie and a couple of friends are forming a bit of a group. But so if you've got a few friends, form a group. Of course, it's entirely up to you, free to do that. The reason why I do Sunday class is like a lot of these classes, I can cut down on them. It's you don't get enough attendance. And I've got to give up my Sunday afternoon. 3 or 4 people rock up, and they've all got 500 Rand their account. It's not worth my time. You get the point. It's like going to a lawyer and say, I've got this legal problem. Will you charge me 1 Rand an hour, or 2 Rand an hour, or something? No, it's not worth it. But if we had several hundred people, I may be exaggerating there, with maybe 10, 20 grand or up to their account, want to do a weekly Zoom Sunday class at, I don't know, it wouldn't be in the afternoon, it'd be in the morning actually, because I've got stuff to do in the afternoon. I'd more than happily do it. But the problem is, that's why a lot of these classes have been stopped now. It's because the people don't attend, they don't interact. And it's pitiful actually, because I mean, they're there to help them, they don't interact. And more to the point, they don't attend. So no point in paying somebody to go and do a class and no one's pitching up, clearly. No, they've got their own. You form your own with you guys. They've got their own. That's their community. You form your own Nomvuzo. You put your number on it. If someone wants to join you, you'll be ahead of the little club and get them to join you. They've got their own thing. Yeah, happy with TK, yeah. Good. Now form your own group. I'm sure you've got a couple of mates there. And if you might, somebody on here might, a few people on there might say, I'd like to join you. Yeah, I can jump around on the NAS. Never trade the NAS. What if I stop and then go take a nap? It will bite you. Yeah, I jumped around. The problem is modifying the stop loss on the NAS. You need to keep about 200 pips away, unless it's approaching resistance, and you might have capped it and maybe moved about 50 pips minimum, maybe even 80 pips. Yeah, I've done that. If I'm knocked out because it just retraced from the resistance area, or I just take the profit. But if you start trading by 20, 30 pips in the NAS, you are completely wasting your time. I agree. That's what you have to learn. Can't add Nomvuzo without swapping telephone numbers, guys. She doesn't know your number. I presume she doesn't. Just you've got a chat line there. Put your number on. There you are. There you are, people. You got a number. Right. So if you want to join the group together, just take that number down. WhatsApp the lady. I think it's a lady. Nomvuzo sounds like a lady. Yeah, lady. And then yeah, get a little bit of a group together. Preferably got one in there who's been trading for a while. We don't want the blind leading the blind, you know what I mean? Seems to be quite the norm in trading. The amount of advice and statements I hear on Instagram, place like that, it's yeah, well, no, fine. I thought you were a lady, yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, I think I've covered most stuff. Any questions, guys? Anything you want to look at? You've all got the calculator. Make sure you get those volumes right. Do not overexpose and come back, don't underexpose. What's that? What's happening in Rosebank today? What event is this? First I've heard of it. I've got an event in the Rosebank office. Nobody told me about it. Maybe they don't want me there. Well, I can't go there anyway. So Northern closed up early on Friday, and I'll be doing the non-farms. Don't like the IB. The IBs can join the NFP, but that's done on Zoom by me here. That's the event. I thought you talked about some sort of splash come drinks foods event or something. Yeah. Remember, the IBs are intermediaries. They're not licensed to advise. Remember that. So if you get a trade idea out for them, in theory, it should be the one from myself. Copy and paste from here. They're given their own trades. Well, don't tell me about it. Shouldn't be. unless they're outside the South African border, they can do what they like. So as long as there's any regulations there, so it's what they like. Okay, welcome, Manuel. Coming a little bit late. We normally close off around about 11 o'clock. But anyway, good to have you here. Welcome. It's a trading room. You can chit chat, ask questions, etc. on the chat line, or I'm muted everyone, so I'll unmute just in case you want to verbally interact. Okay, so you can verbally interact if you want. Trading room, it's 9:30 to 11 o'clock. Just bear that in mind. Okay, right. If anyone asks me volumes, go to what Chris does. You've got to give me how much money you've got. I can't give you a volume. You have to tell me how much money you've got, clearly. If you're heading, fair enough, you go to the office if you want. Don't know if there's anybody be there, but I think there's a few people. There might be quite, I don't know, I don't go very often. But gold, right. I'm thinking, let's discuss this, guys. We've traded before. I was thinking $2 instead of $1 above and below. I think that's probably slightly better. Are we happy with that? Don't go on farms. You've got less than 1.8 will do. If you've got about 500, 1,000, no, you haven't got enough money. You should be trading such a small amount anyway. It's just too small. It's up to you. But you need a bit more money than that. Let's see, on 10K, if you do $2, let's have a look. Think about this. That's it's going to be about but I would say about 40 rand a micro. Yeah, I think I'll stick with that. I'm going to do a $2 above and below. It's going to minimize, make it slightly smaller the profit potential. It's obviously going to click in at $2 above or below market and $1, obviously. So I think you can work on 40 rand a micro on 10 grand. You'll risk slightly more on this one. You can look at 600. If you're comfortable psychologically with 600 rand risk, 4 into that is 15, right? So you can put in 0.15. Okay, that's fine, Emmanuel. Keep a piece of paper and a pen handy. Take any notes, and you can interact with any questions. If it comes in detailed stuff, that's for the Forex classes, etc., from Stock Market College. If you've got absolutely no training, nothing whatsoever, then you need to do a couple of classes with Stock Market College, because you might find this a little bit much. But this is just get those basics, and I'm very much pleased to have you. Okay, are you good with that? If you're good with 600 risk, try 0.15 there. Chris, you okay with that? If you want to risk more, that's your choice. But I can advise what from this side. I can't say go with 5,000 risk, it comes against you. Then I haven't been advising within the proper regulatory space, you know. I'm not yet targeted to trade. Help me, team. Wow. I think too many typos there. Yeah, but that 5 lot size, it goes wrong, that's a lot. Because that's 50 times 4, that's a 2 grand risk. If it works, you'd be smiling, you're just prepared to take the knock if it doesn't. Most of the time it does, it makes you feel better. But yeah, that's why often I do up my risk profile on it, because I say the odds are more favorable than not, but just bear that in mind. It's your choice, I'm just saying. If you want to risk it more, but I can't say do that, and it comes right, and then you throw the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune at me. To misquote the bard. Actually, it's not the best broker, it's the second best, because I'm about to start another broker up, and that would be the best. Just kidding, TK. You're not allowed to say it's not the best broker on here, by the way. You'll get bound to trade NGAS for 6. Just be careful. Okay. Okay, guys, yeah, there's a few minutes to go, Anna Maria. Cover most things. Anything you'd like me to discuss going into the close?
Roger, just curious, why do you have only the line for the bits on your trends? In other words, the selling price and not both.
I do. We've got the sell, the TP, stop loss, got it all there. Is that what you mean? You see, there's my stop loss, slightly above is my sell entry.
No, what I'm saying is you showed the bid price line, that red one with the 0.55358.
Yeah, because I'm on the
All
sell.
right.
I've got to leave the ask price line in there. No. If I'm going long, the ask price would be in there.
Oh, so normally you change it whenever
I
you
don't change it
take
all. It's automatic. If I go into a long, I'm not in a long in anything at the moment. If I was in a long, that would be the ask price.
Oh, so that is done automatically because, all right, I'll just need to reinvestigate. I wasn't too
Well,
sure
I'm going to be
whether or not
honest.
you said it on the properties.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, probably yeah. As I say, to my immediate embarrassment, I'm no tech fundy. If you're a tech man like Mark Shearer is, you can probably fiddle around with it and get all sorts of stuff. Like Clinton's a serious tech fundy, and when he does the platform trade, he'll go into a lot of details. I sometimes ask him in certain details. I basically know how to drive the motor car. What happens under the bonnet engineering wise, I'm not that clued up on. I'm on the trading aspect, but on the tech side, because I could, I've got the brains to capable of learning if I want, but I prefer, I don't really, well, I'm making excuses now, but you probably can find a way around it. But Clinton's the guy to ask. He's a real tech jacked up man. Like, when I occasionally fill in when somebody takes leave like himself on, let's say, position calculator or even the platform training, I just go into the basics, how to modify, close, part close, calculate, that sort of thing. So you can trade. All the other details, as long as the guy can place an order comfortably and confidently, that's what I'm worried about. But if you want to go into more details on that, have the ask line up. I'm not the slightest bit interested in that, so why have it? But if you want the ask line up as well, there might be a way of doing it. But automatically, if I was going to buy there, the price would be show me then the ask line, yeah. Or vice versa, I should say.
No, all right, thank you very much.
Well, no problem finding it. Remember, I get in on that price on a sell and I get out on that price on exit, because that's the market maker spread. If I'm going long, I get in on that and get out of that. So if I go in this and long, I'm going to be 6 pips down immediately. That's got to get to there to break even. That's the base of the brokerage, you like. Be very careful on text messages, guys, that people, especially beginners, they often get the wrong end of the stick because it's not enough information there. Like Finders came on there and making sure we're both on the same page. I find with text messages, it can be a little bit limiting, you know what I'm saying? The guy walks off with completely the wrong end of the stick. And I've had guys sort of come up and said, but Roger said that. Well, Roger didn't say anything but he saw it. They got the wrong end of the stick. They got the stompy, you know what I mean? That's why I tend to try and go on a bit, maybe to the more experienced guys, some rather obvious detail, because often they come back afterwards. It's not what I said at all. Make sure we're on the same page. Very important. Any questions, or should we wrap it up? Anything, just want a little bit of what? Yeah. We've got the trades running, we've got the non-farms coming up at 2. I've shown you how to save your charts. You got the my details, you got the you got the normal details. No problem, Makona, no problem. 2 o'clock. If you come in after 2 and you don't have a place to trade, you're not getting enough time to learn what the mechanics of the trade are and place it before the 2:30 release. Simple as that. That's what happens. They come in about 2 minutes before 1:30. Now I've got to explain it and they've got to place it. Or they say 30-second before release, can I place a trade now? No, mate, it's too late. You missed it. If you haven't got time to place a trade properly, it doesn't matter. Well, if it works out well, it does. But point is, we're doing the next week. We're doing the CPI, and then have another bash there. Bottom line is rock up on time. As that. If you can, if you can't, you can't, obviously. But thanks, Marcus. I'm just trying to close up now. Anything else before we close up? Anything else? Are we all good, guys? I usually use
Thank
the
you,
15.
Roger. Thank you all. See you this afternoon.
Thanks, Farney. Great stuff, man. I usually use the 15 minutes. You can see what else is going on. But you'll see what I'm doing at 2 o'clock. If you join me, then you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, guys. Catch you later.
Cheers.
Cheers now. Cheers, guys.